Hello and welcome back to Eventual Digressions show. Today I'm going to be reacting to UFC 314, but only to the main fight, the main event, which is the fight between Alexander the Great Volkanovski and Diego Lopes. And I feel I should honor this fight by doing a whole video on it because I have a lot to talk about. I have to lot to celebrate, and I have to lot to feel happy about in general about the MMA community and what it means, what this means, what this win of Volkanovski against Lopez means. And I'll be reacting to the rest of the card and the rest of the fights in a separate video, but this video is just about Alex the Great Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. And before I get into the thick of it, I would really request you to, like, subscribe, spread the word. Really helps out. And if you feel like, drop a couple of comments, and keep the conversation going, right? But yeah, let's get into it. First, let's talk about big picture, right? Big picture. What does this fight or what does this win means, right? So I was curious, like how many people have come back to win a title after getting knocked out in their previous two fights, or after being stopped at their previous two fights. How many people have even attempted to fight in a title fight after two knockouts? And in the whole history of UFC, there has been just 6 people who have attempted to do that, right? And in the history of UFC, there's only one person who, before Volkanovski, has won a title fight, and that is Randy Couture, the great Randy Couture. And that also, he did it after switching his weight class, and he won the interim title, not even the main title. Apart from that, all the other guys who tried are, Hall of Famers. Frankie Edgar, Jose Aldo. And just to put into perspective the scale of this, right? Because a lot of people wrote off Volkanovski. I mean, even I had some doubts in terms of like his durability and whether he'll be a shell of himself. But this is something historic. And I'll get into it, before I get into the X's and O's and more into the strategy of the fight that I thought was strategy. I just feel this is something incredible, and it's so fitting that a person like Volkanovski is the person who did it. At the age of 35, he was written off, and people, including, there were a lot of rumblings, not just about him, about fighters in lower weight classes, especially, how difficult it is or how impossible it is for someone is to come back against the elites post the age of 34, 35. And it's generally people cannot do it, right? And there's good reason for these rumblings, because it's statistically true. But only reason, I feel that, in my opinion, the only reason that Volk could do it, and he's still at an elite level, make no mistake, he was vastly superior than Lopez here. And I'll talk about Lopez more later, but he was vastly superior, and Diego Lopes was deservingly his opponent. It's not like he's been pushed up the queue or anything. He deserves it. He is one of the best featherweights right now. So to be so vastly ahead of him at this age is incredible. And the only reason that I can think of is that, is Volkanovski the biggest puncher that you have seen in the UFC in his weight class? No, he's not. He packs a good punch, but he's not the person with the best power. He's not the person with the best leg kicks. Maybe Justin Gaethje is. He's not the person with the the best grappling or ground and pound, like Khabib was. He's not the person with elite submission skills, like the best submission skills like Charles Oliveira has. what is it that makes him this elite still? To me, it is his sense of timing. Number one, his sense of timing is second to none. It's amazing. And his technical skills in terms of doing complex setups over and over and over and over again. Like he will, do certain feints and, uh, put in some touch shots just to set up a pattern. And when the opponent just starts to read it, he just gets into a different pattern, and he does like almost 20 to 30 patterns, in the course of a fight, which is insane, right? And it's very difficult for the opponent to read it. His feints, every feint that he makes, every step that he takes is deliberately planned for a setup. And that is what sets him apart. He's technically elite. And the key word here is fight IQ. The key word here is fight IQ. I think that sets him apart. And, I don't think that he silenced his critics in terms of his endurance. He did get knocked down, in the third or fourth round, I believe. And, that can happen, but I don't know how his chin is still, is what I'm saying. But the reason, it is so difficult to be ahead of the new blood that is coming in and year out, because new blood is coming in. That means new set of skills, new kind of conditioning that is taking place for the opponents, new body types, so to be ahead, to keep up and to be ahead, still, and to be ahead of the pack still is just something incredible. And for me, he's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, there wasn't any debate for me in my mind even before this fight, but if there were for anyone, I think after this fight, it's a no-brainer that he's an elite. I mean, he's definitely an elite fighter, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, for sure. And his technical prowess, like we have seen that his technicality, or technical brilliance is, we have seen in all his fights, apart from the two knockouts. The one with Ilya, he made a mistake and he paid for it, and the one with Islam, the second fight, he rushed into the fight and he paid for it. But apart from those fights, we have all seen the way he fights. Like, he's a technically nuanced fighter who's so clean, who's so brilliant. I don't know what to say. And I wanted to just give this perspective before moving into the fight itself, right? And yeah, he has elite cardio, he has a insane mentality, but I think main thing is the fight IQ. Now, who was Diego Lopes, right? When, I think when Volk won the third fight against Max Holloway, which was a resounding win. I think at time it was 2022, and Diego Lopes joined the UFC in 2023. So in 2022, when Volk was the pound for pound the best fighter at that time, Diego Lopes wasn't even in the UFC, and since then he has fought his way, earned his spot to challenge for the title, for the featherweight title. And the thing is, if you have seen my preview again, like I mentioned, skill for skill, Volk is ahead of him, right? But we did not know whether Father Time will catch up with him or not, and we clearly saw that it hasn't. Like, the technical brilliance of Volkanovski just compensated for maybe a little bit slowing down in his pace, or a little bit of softening of his power with the age. The technical brilliance made up for it. But with Lopes, I didn't think he had a bad fight. Okay, I didn't think he had a bad fight. I had specifically one problem with the way he fought. And that is um so if you notice in the fight, like mostly Volk as a fighter, he'll always move, anti-clockwise or clockwise from his fighter to find the angles, right? So I think in this fight he decided that he will move anti-clockwise, or on like or clockwise. Basically he wants to make Lopez's right hand follow him, because Lopez's power is in his right hook or right jab, right? So every time he was turning Lopez on a dime, right? Every time. And he did it for 25 minutes. And I don't understand like how Lopez's corner did not point that out. Or I mean, in the sense that even I think at one point Joe Rogan said in his commentary that the corner needs to tell him something more technical than, you have to, keep moving and stuff like that. Because every time Volk is moving and Lopez is following him. And you know so basically when you're moving, like Volk is moving, he's following him. And while he is following, his defense is absolutely shit, right? Like that's the case for most fighters. And Volk is getting his hits in, a leg kick, a jab, like and you just cannot win a fight against Alexander Volkanovski by following him for 25 minutes. You cannot. You have to let him come on to you. You have to manage your distance and keep your position a little bit, right? You have to rely a little bit on your counter punches rather than being proactive all the time with a technically gifted fighter like Volkanovski. It was fucking insane to me that that was not pointed out. And yeah, I understand like there were a bunch of takedown attempts by Volk. I think that was part of the game plan. It was more of I think that's the reason Lopez was kicking very less in the fight. I noticed he did a decent amount of kicking in the first round, and after that he was kicking really less because he was maybe wary of getting taken down. And he only got taken down once the first round in Volk's 10 attempts. So that's great. Like, okay, he didn't get taken down, but he limited his attacking options, and yes, he did have a great fourth round where he had a flurry, knocked him down. I think his eyes got brushed, like Volkanovski's eye got brushed, and after that I think he got caught by that hook from Lopez. But in the end, Volkanovski was having crazy combinations as well, where he was constantly getting under and hitting him with his right hook. It's like deliberate beatdown, extremely technical elite. And for me, honestly, the fight was 4 rounds to 1 for Volk. I felt he won 4 rounds, and I'll give the fourth round to Lopez. But yeah, it was that straightforward to me. I will take a look at the official scorecard and see what basically the judges thought. It'll be interesting to know. It was in unanimous decision, but I want to see how many judges gave him more than 1 round, and and which rounds, of course. So yeah, it was a technical masterclass. And Alexander Volkanovski, he's elite, he's great, and he's back. Yes, there is an element of softness, for lack of a better word, because Ilya vacated the title. But nevertheless, like fighting someone like Diego Lopez, and being so vastly better than him after coming back from 2 knockouts, and then be willing to trade shots against a person like Lopez, getting inside the hole and doing combinations, is absolutely elite mentality. It's a monster mindset in the best possible way. So yeah, let's get into the official scorecard here. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, here it is. So okay, so there are three judges: Derek Cleary, Sal Diamato, and Chris Lee. So I see that Derek Cleary gave 2 rounds to Lopez, the second round and fourth round. So okay, the second round, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's pushing it in my opinion, but yeah, I can see a case where it can be given, but that's it. I think the other judges, Aldiamato, gave Lopez the second round, and then the other judge, Chris Lee, gave Lopez the fourth round. So yeah, so basically, it's the second, fourth rounds are the only 2 rounds where there was some kind of debate, and I would say like one of the judges didn't even give the fourth round. So you can see how close the fight was. I mean, we know like even for those 2 rounds, right? And the rest, it was clearly a winner. I mean, Volk clearly won. So yeah, I mean, incredible. This is this is the scorecard, and let's get into the stats of it a little bit because oh wow, oh wow, man, like the shots per round, Volk is overwhelmingly ahead. The shots landed per round, you know, and my god, even in terms of attempts, he's way ahead. But yeah, he has a minimum, like in the first round he had 27 shots landed to Lopez's 8. That's crazy. In the third round he had, let's go, just read out the rounds that he clearly won. In the third round he had 25 shots landed to Lopez's 9, and in the fifth round he had 43 shots. So in the fifth round, at the age of 35, Volkanovski had the highest number of shots, 43 shots to landed against Lopez's 14. So Lopez is known to be an elite stand-up fighter, and these are the numbers: 27 to 8 shots landed in the first round, 25 to 9 shots landed in the third round, and 43 to 14 shots landed in the fifth round. So imagine the difference these two people have, right? So yeah, I mean, the rest of the numbers are quite self-explanatory. Like significant strikes, Volk had 61%, Lopez's 32%. Headshots, Volk had 136 to Lopez's 49, and the rest, the rest is Lopez had one attempts to taking Volk down, and Volk had ground 9 to 11 shots. Yeah, so yeah, what a fight. I'm really happy to see Volk winning this, and I think Lopez will have his time. He can lick his wounds, come back. He needs to get a little bit more well-rounded in terms of. I think he did quite well, to be honest, against the technical brilliance that was displayed by Volk. Um, I think Lopez looked better, but he did understand the level of difference in terms of the opponent that he had today. Yeah, I think he'll come back, but yeah, Alexander the Great Volkanovski, I mean, fucking brilliant, and let's see how long we can enjoy, you know, the fights of Volk. Let's just give an applause, and let's just applaud this and take it all in, let it sink in, what we just witnessed, in the UFC 314 main event. And with that, I think I'll end the video, but thanks for sticking by, and really appreciate your support. Hope to talk to you soon. Till then, see you.